like you said, I have seen the application process that you provided to us, and there's a lot of information that goes into that, and that you guys go out and survey and make sure, what's on their application matches.
That's right. We do go out to visit the properties. So if there's a claim, a lot of data we can capture. So if you claim that you've got more than 1,700 feet on West Virginia Route 51, that's a map issue, and we can do that in the office. But when there's a claim that there may be a wetlands or a spring, it's important for us to go out and verify that claim. The other thing we're doing is we're just looking to make sure that there's no issues, like there was a lot of excavation, or I've never had this happen, but that there's a leaking pesticide tank somewhere. That's going to cause an encumbrance that we're going to need to address before we select the property. So we go out and visit our properties. By the time our January meeting rolls around, the board is then ready to review the top ranked properties. Ideally, we've set money aside at the beginning of the fiscal year, which is in June or July rather. So by July or August, the board has set money aside. I like doing that because it's like the cleanest and the highest road approach, that no one can ever claim that a board member voted to take Aunt Franny's farm because they knew that they could afford it. Those funding decisions, set-asides, were done well before all the applications are in. So by January, we've selected properties. We then approach the owners to make sure that they are willing to proceed, and if they are, then we order the restricted use appraisal. That's going to value what the easement is worth, and this is not the easiest concept, but an easement really is the subdivision rights off of a property. So a restricted use appraisal comes back with two numbers. The fair market value, that's what the land would be worth if it was sold on the market today. Now, interestingly, that number subtracts out any existing buildings. And that's because in this appraisal, the before and after scenarios don't really involve the buildings. So the after value is the restricted use value. That's what that same parcel would appraise for if it was already encumbered by an easement. So as an example, fair market value of a farm may end up coming in at $7,000 an acre. The restricted use value may come in at $3,000 an acre, and that difference is $5,000 an acre, and that's what the easement's worth. By state law, we can't pay more than the lower of the owner's ask or the appraised value. So if the owner asks $4,500, the easement appraised at $5,000, we're going to have to go with the $4,500. So once the appraisal is done, if the owner is good with that, then we continue to do the rest of the due diligence, and the board pays for that. So we order a title work. Once that's done, that gets passed to the survey. We have a survey of the property. We do an easement documentation report. That is mainly used for the IRS, but the board also uses it kind of as a document that memorializes what the property roughly looked like about the time that the easement went into effect. At that point, we're working on the draft deed of conservation easement, and we're ready to go to closing. It typically takes about a year. I'm trying to get that shortened down to 9 months.